Just give me a quick description of what Will's connection and what he does with the baseball team.
Well, Will's connection is he's a kind of bat boy slash, I guess you could say, a motivator for the kids. He's been around for a number of years. I've also Will kind of lives in the neighborhood. I have some friends that live just down the street from him, and known Will for quite a few years, and watched him grow up, that sort of thing, and really enjoyed it.
What does Will do for your team on a kind of bringing a joy and happiness and inspiration to the players?
Well, one thing I think Will does is he gives our players and coaches a sense of calm, and I can give you an example. For one thing, Will has unlimited access to the dugout. He's the only person in the whole world that can come and go as he pleases. So we let him come and go, and he has a little bit of Houdini in him, because you'll look around and he'll be in the dugout, and an inning later he may be somewhere else, and you think he's gone home or something, and at the end of the game you'll see him out on the field. But he'll come in the dugout, and he likes to visit the concession stand. So you may look in the dugout in the middle of the game, and he'll be sitting there with a hamburger, hot dog, and maybe a soft drink, that sort of thing. And you might have a player that's had a rough inning, made a mistake or an error or something out on the field. Somebody will ask Will how the hamburgers are, and you always get a good out of Will. The hamburgers are always good. And it sort of relaxes the players, sort of gets their minds off a mistake that they might have had, or that sort of thing. So he's really probably doesn't know it, but he's kind of in charge of keeping everybody calm and grounded.
Do you think that's an extremely valuable asset to your team?
Yeah, I think it's something we have that maybe nobody else does. And it's just, he kind of keeps everybody grounded, keeps everybody in a calm mood, sort of takes their mind. I mean, you know, you want players to be focused when they're playing, but not stressed out. And I think Will does a superb job keeping the kids calm.
Now talk about, I believe it was a state title run or the year where there was a limited number of people in the dugout, so you needed to assign Will an actual position in order to get around some seemingly ridiculous rules. What happened?
Right. The IHSA has some rules where you're only allowed a certain number of players, coaches, trainers, that sort of thing in the dugout. So we put Will in uniform, assigned him to the roster, and it allowed him to be in the dugout with us in the state championship game in 2009, and along with his brother. And I remember one of the sights that I remember looking in. I turned around before the game, and I was looking up at all the crowd. We had a really good following, and I looked down the dugout, and there was Will and Matt sitting together, and I'm sure, you know, Matt, his brother, had some butterflies going on, and there was Will just not really saying a whole lot to him, but you could tell that it had a calming effect on Matt. So really enjoyed having him in the dugout, and I know he rode the bus with us, and he was just part of the team.
Now you talked a lot about like that calming effect, which is something a lot of teams don't ever have. For your players, for you, for coaches, what do you think they've gathered from Will making themselves better people?
Well, I think that after every game, Will's out on the field, and he's hugging people, he's chest bumping them, whether we win, whether we lose, and he just keeps us grounded. I mean, he makes us understand that, you know, sometimes you're kind of hanging your head after a tough loss or that sort of thing, and then you look at Will, and I mean, he's always just enjoying life to the fullest, and you understand that, you know, life doesn't just revolve around athletics. It's a whole lot more than that, and I think Will gives us all a sense of what life's really about.
Awesome. Is there anything else you want to add?
I just think one thing I would say about Will, that he may be the only person in the world that I know that he has no enemies, not one single enemy. And you know, we certainly couldn't say that about very many people, but Will's known wherever he goes, and everybody just loves him and adores him.